Welcome back to 4th and 1. I'm your host, Changang Chaney. I'm not wasting any of your time today as you've all been more than patient as I get this next episode to you all. We got an entire week worth of games for you today as 3 separate conference matchups all grace our screens. 4th and 1 begins now. In today's video, we'll tackle one non-conference game with Will C. Wood. The Carolina Tech Pussycats square up on Leavenworth. Battery Creek tries to claim ownership over the Southeast against Florida Tech. And then finally, someone's getting a victory today as Dixie, Normus, and West Northern Kentucky State duke it out to finish things off. We'll start here with Will C. Wood taking on Portland State. I do want to apologize to the loyal fans of the Woodpeckers as there were some technical issues, and so we did end up actually losing the footage for about 90% of this game. Hence why these highlights are pretty mid. Portland State will end up handing the Peckers their second loss of the season, 38-10. On the bright side, it shouldn't affect the Peckers conference standings too much as they have a couple game lead so far into the season. Moving on now to the Carolina University of New Technology's Pussycats as they take on the drunken disorderlies of Leavenworth. We are gonna pick this one up right from the start as on the very first play of scrimmage, Mustang QB Mike Myers is gonna roll off the play action and look before he steps up and fires deep down the left sideline where his man Steven Seward will get into the end zone untouched for a 76-yard scorcher to kick this one off. Down on the goal line, and this will be Alston's pitch right to Will Copeland with nothing but end zone in front of him. Touchdown, Pussycats. On to the second quarter now, tied at 7. Myers out of the gun here on 3rd and 10. Play action, steps up, fires off platform, but this is gonna be a perfect throw to Joe Garner, who comes down with it in the end zone. Myers again, but in the 2-minute drill now. This is a handoff to Ryan Godfrey, right side with some blocks. Moving downfield, sheds the pathetic tackle attempt, and he will be gone for a score of his own. Last minute of the half, Pussycats trying to strike back. Alston drops back under pressure, fires into coverage, picked off by Melvin Wilson. Second half was more of the same, and Carolina Tech never really recovered. Coach Donati and his merry band of criminals get their first victory of the season, a huge 52-14 win over the Pussycats. That leaves only the Black-Footed Ferrets, Dixie, Normus, and Battery Creek winless in the conference. So now, let's see if Coach John Smith can join his friend Coach Donati and get a win in the same week. Badgers take on the Red Pandas here in Duval County. Unfortunately, it was more of the same to start for the Badgers as this will be the Red Pandas' Jonathan Lowe fielding a kick after the Badgers finally got on the board, and Lowe will take this one all the way back to the house, putting the Pandas up here in the second half in commanding fashion, 41-7. Next possession, and the Badgers QB Mo Thomas out of the gun, still having a lot of issues with his O-line, taking the sack by Nate Carter. That would be the 4th sack at this point in the game. Pandas later would be driving yet again, and Dorian Sharp is just ecstatic to be in the driver's seat for a game as he finds Mark Slaughter on a beautiful looking touchdown. Game out of control now, and the backups are in, and maybe that's what the Badgers need, because here we see Jimmy Williams with a clean pocket, dropping the ball right into the breadbasket for the backup fullback Deontay Roll, who's in for 6. Final score in this one is the Red Pandas defending their turf with a 55-17 stomping over the Badgers. Florida Tech coach Corey Williams now with his second win on the year. More importantly, second conference victory, climbing into the top 3 with Will C. Wood and Dr. Pepper U. Now's the time. We will not leave this game without someone getting their first win of the year. Coach Cooper White and the Dixie Normus Titans square off against Coach Cody McBride and the West Northern Kentucky State Black-Footed Ferrets. We start right at the beginning here, and Titans QB Tyler Gray drops back and has all day to throw. Now fires deep right side, 50-50 ball, and Ryan Daniels comes down with it. Now in the red zone, Gray under center drops back, and again, super clean pocket, fires left, and Kyle Ramsey will haul in the touchdown. Winks on offense now. Conley out of the gun, fires quickly, and this is picked off by linebacker Larry Jasmine. Unfortunate last name for a man playing football. Conley back out there, snap out of the gun, and Jasmine applying the pressure. Conley floats it left, and John Jenkins gets himself a pick. Lockdown defense from the Titans to start this one in Kentucky. Down on the 5, Gray under center with the quick drop, fires right to Dane Powers in the flat, who will turn this into a touchdown, making a 3-score game early. End of the first quarter in this one, Titans up 17-0. Ferret's finally on the move. Conley inside the 30, takes the snap, surveys the field. Now he'll drop it over the defense into the hands of Joel Estes, who will get into the end zone and put the Ferrets on the board. Next drive, Titans still moving on offense. 3rd and goal here. Gray finds Powers again in the flat for another touchdown. The exact same play as before with the exact same result. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Conley trying to keep this game close, drops back from the gun, looks, fires over the middle, picked off again. John Jenkins with pick number 2 on the day. 3 first-half turnovers for the Ferrets, and that is exactly how these Titans are pulling away in this one. Conley pushing the red zone, drops back, finds his man complete before John Jenkins re-emerges and summons his inner Brian Dawkins, laying out Derek Howell for the fumble to be recovered by Jenkins himself. What a first half. Less than a minute to go now. Gray under center, play action, rolls left, finds Ryan Daniels in space, who turns upfield and gets into the end zone through the tackle. That'll be 31-7 in favor of Dixie Normus at the half. On to the second half. Conley under just as much pressure here as he did in the first half, taking the sack by Jimmy Brown. Ferrets now in the red zone. Conley, play action to the left, finds Joel Estes at the 10, turns up and gets into the end zone again. That'll close out the third quarter. Still technically anyone's game, only a 2-touchdown lead for the Titans. Can Jamal Conley lead a comeback? Out of the gun, rolls right and gets smacked. Later in the drive on the 25, Conley out of the gun, looks and fires a beauty to the right. Touchdown, Derek Howell. At least it would be, if not for the holding call on the Ferrets. And that is going to blow the wind right out of the sails. That'll be the end of the potential comeback. The Ferrets would go on to score later, but with next to no time left on the clock, final score here will be Coach Cooper White getting his first victory, 31-24. Player of the game honors goes to a defensive masterclass by the Titans' very own cornerback, John Jenkins. Jenkins was hitting hard and often in the first half, coming away with 2 picks and a fumble he both forced and recovered. Jenkins ends this week leading the conference with 4 interceptions on the year. This episode's Player of the Game is brought to you by CheesyCorn Sports. Join Cheese and Corn every Friday and Sunday as they talk everything football, from fantasy to best bets and more. Links to their channels and socials are linked in the description below. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of 4th and 1. To catch up on all previous episodes, hit that playlist right there in the middle of the screen. For now, I'm Chain Gang Cheney, signing off.